Welcome to video game fucking bullshit.
VGBS Podcast time. Get ready for the ride. Tristan and Jeff in the zone. Video games they own.
This is Thor Ackerlin, and welcome to Video Game Bullshit.
This is Master Daniel Pacina. Get over here to Video Game Bullshit.
Welcome to episode 146 of Video Game Bullshit. Fucking crazy, man. It has been a while.
A little too long, yeah. We've had trouble syncing up.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't quite hit that rhythm since like we had that big break. So we'll get into it. We'll hit that stride again.
Well, and it's like, you know, there is no rhyme or reason to Video Game Bullshit. And we're not going away. We're just gonna find time and we'll record like today. Because like I'm in training and it's crazy. So I have specific times. And then when I'm available, Tristan's like out with the family, and I'm like, well,
yeah, I'm like at the in-laws or something, or like literally every weekend has just been something like
yeah.
So.
And my weekends are what's available. So like today, ironically, it's like, hey, I have a couple hours or I'm off work out of training for a couple hours, and I already finished my research that I need to get done. Do you want to record? Like, we're like, yay! The fucking stars
it actually
align.
works out.
and it's like, because I mean, even in this time frame in the last couple of months. I've been writing papers. I have a paper due. It's on Thursday. I'm getting a follow that I have to do on Halloween because this is right before Halloween. I have to like write a 1,000-page paper on Thursday.
Well, it's funny, dude. Like I hardly like heard from you on the weekend. I'm like, oh, dude, he must have a lot of homework. So I just like left you alone.
Well, and like I have weekends that are open, but like last weekend I'm doing volunteer work. I'm helping out. Like there was Humane Society stuff. Also, they did a trunk or treat last weekend on Friday, so then Friday was kind of packed. And you know, in this last 2 months, like I've started some projects, which we'll get to when we talk projects. But the projects are like, I'm doing them off the cuff, kind of like this, like, hey, can we record now? Or like I'm doing YouTube channel where I have to do like recording audio. I'm doing it like in my car with my daughter at an appointment, and then I'm recording the audio. Like I'm just making stuff happen when I can. But the weekend has typically been editing books and packaging design.
Yeah,
that's where I get into a zone because, you know, Premium Beast is still going. At the time of this recording, we just had the Fall Direct, which is the X Direct. Badass intro, by the way, Tristan.
Thank you.
On that. Freaking awesome. Like,
I wanted to keep it engaging, so yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I hadn't seen anything. The thing that sucked for me though is I watched it, you know, on my phone as the you know, the whole premiere, and it didn't update the chat, so I didn't get to enjoy the people in the chat like answering your questions. So it just said, hey, just so you know, and it didn't update. I was like, oh, nobody's chatting, and I hit a button. I'm like, damn, I missed all the fun stuff.
That sucks.
Like,
yeah, that's definitely the fun part for us on the team. Like, you know, getting to chat with everyone as we're watching.
Well, and like Premium ain't going away. Tristan and I are focusing on getting shit in everybody's hands. Because it has to do with, you know, production, but also like the sales being able to merit the production and all that crazy shit. So, but we're busy as hell with that stuff. The favorite game of mine from the X though, 100% is Turbo Kid.
Oh yeah,
holy shit,
hands down.
Holy shit!
Oh my gosh, yeah. Not only is it a Metroidvania, it's a Metroidvania based on a really cool premise. And,
I mean, it's based off that B movie from
the
mid 2010s.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's like I backed that sucker on Kickstarter, and I just reached out to him and I go, hey, do you all have a physical publisher yet? And they said no, and so I put him in contact with Barry. And
amazing, yeah, that's going to be a really good one for us.
Another guide that I'm taking on that guide, like another guide we're doing, but. It's going to be a fun one to do. That's kind of my magnum opus. It's a game that is right up my alley, all puns intended. And,
well, yeah, I mean, you're already writing about Metroidvanias. Are you going to like hit up Metroidvania Guru at all for this guide? Like, I mean, I know he's already like reviewing it, so.
Yeah, I think it depends on the developer engagement, because so far and that's the thing, like I'm always doing stuff with Premium just randomly ad hoc. I've had conversations with the game developers and the artists, and multiple conversations like we're having right now. I've done calls with them and we're shooting shit on brainstorming like what we want to be. And if they're as engaged as they currently are, like we might have everything I need just based off of our engagements with the developers, which is part of the fun, is when you have awesome developers. It's like you working on the Sunshine one, you have direct access to the game.
Yeah, it's really cool. But but then we kind of have to scrap and claw for what we need to. And sometimes things are lost in translation and whatever. So not to get into the weeds too much, but it is fun. Especially like with really good games that we're writing guides on that deserve this kind of treatment. Yeah,
and that's the thing, is it's been a couple months since we recorded. So there's been a crazy shit. It's like I was like, oh, I'm gonna cover a couple of pickups, and I'm like, oh crap! In the last 2 months, I was like, I got this.
Yeah.
Like I got this, which is the Switch Lite for those that aren't watching video version. But like this is the Switch Lite Zelda edition, and I had to get a second one because when they shipped it to me, it had a damn hole in it from packaging.
Whoa.
So there was like a damn pea-sized hole. They put like a damn pole through it or something in the shipping. I got it from Best Buy. Best Buy packaged it fine. It was literally like somebody poked a rod into the damn box.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's freaking wild. And so, I mean, there's also this kind of stuff that I got.
Yeah. Hey, where'd that come from?
This is the Wiggy Design wireless gamepad. Tristan was talking about it, and essentially he sent it to me. So I haven't opened it because it's still sealed, the base and the controller. So
dude, it's gorgeous, man. Like he does such amazing work. So that's Rose Colored Gaming. Wiggy Designs. So Matthew Wiggins, he's the CEO of Rose Colored Gaming, and he's been making like consoles and like all this other stuff for like years and years. But I guess that one was like 10 years in the making, he said.
Wow.
But only like it's got 8-bit dough guts, so like I think he was kind of waiting for the technology to catch up so that he could actually like fit wireless stuff inside of it.
My only wish is that it was the SN30 Pro, so it had the analogs. Because I would start using it immediately. Because like my SN30 Pro is plugged into my gaming rig, and I use it all the time for everything. And so that's the only thing, is like it's very like at this point in time with my current gaming rig setup, I go to the Super Nintendo and the 8-bit 30 Pro, like it's the same. It's cool as hell. This is more of a display piece once I have my Super Nintendo Shrine. Sure. Yeah. And 100% it's a cool item, and it has to do with the legacy of VGBS, so it's staying.
Yeah, and they sold out so fast. Especially that one. I think that one sold out first. Like they have like 3 designs. One's gunmetal, the other one's like Famicom colors, and then that one, So
that one's the coolest one because it's all a little candy. Yeah. So did you get anything cool that you'd like to show off? I'm only bringing a couple items.
Sure.
So I have two.
I've been going kind of crazy, like in preparation for another project that I'm working on, and not to give too much away, but people can probably guess what I'm working on by just based on what I'm going to show you.
Well, and I feel like we could talk about it in the project section in a little bit.
Sure. So, just on a little sample size. So I picked up an open pack of These are triple triad cards from Final Fantasy VIII. Those were sold back in the 90s. I got a pack of Mario Wonder cards. This was a pre-order for Mario Wonder from Walmart. Here's one for Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, and then this is from Theatrhythm.
Man, so you're going to do a video game themed book, I'm taking it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, I did it. No,
I think sort of getting things organized and whatever.
I I think it's dope what you're doing, and we'll definitely talk about it with the upcoming projects. So the couple items that I got, one, I'm not sure if you saw my post because I know you're out with family, but I did do a post on all of the socials for this.
Oh yeah,
the Splatterhouse Guinea Pig Games Halloween release.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like where did that come from?
Dude, I saw it in a TurboGrafx 16 group, the Guinea Pigs in, and they posted the link on the website, and the website was only available for like a day or two. Wow. And like this is like the chip holder, which is a
that's super cool. A cleaver or whatever.
Cleaver with the Splatterhouse logo. This is like because they do their own hue cards. It is thick. It's also they only did 30 and it's signed and numbered.
That's so freaking neat.
This is the kind of stuff that I want to put in the complete Turbo books in the future. Double-sided. The inside of this has a little manual printed, so it's like a double-sided print. The other side has like the manual instructions.
Cool. Well, what was on the front cover? Oh, okay, yeah, so Japanese style. Yeah.
Yeah, and I flipped it around because I thought I like the Jason Voorhees style more than the red mask. It really depends in the future. And then this the tray is actually 3D printed red. So it's a 3D printed tray, which I think is cool as hell. I love it. And then the other thing is, this isn't Splatterhouse. This is Splatterhouse Chrome.
Like it's a ROM hack?
It's a ROM hack.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, and you could request it. So all of the games are Splatterhouse, I think, but mine. Ooh. Because I had them. I'm like, oh, can you put Chrome on it? Because I don't need a reproduction of Splatterhouse. I own it. So I'm like, I don't have a physical copy of Chrome. Done. And like, as it's a repro, like I don't need, reproductions of licensed games. I would rather have a reproduction of a fan-made game or.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an aftermarket game as it is, so why not?
As it is, exactly. So yeah, to me that was super dope, and it was posted. I think I got it within a day or two. Like the guy just sent it out to me. It was awesome. Wow. Guinea Pig's great though. Guinea Pig Games, like they do tons of fun stuff. They actually sold. I'm not sure if they're the ones who sold it to you, but they sold all the homebrews, the Hue Card homebrews and everything.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm sure I've bought something from him in the past then.
Yeah. Well, and then after you got me the games from Midwest Gaming Classic, I hit him up and got the ones that he had that weren't at MGC. So I have the whole variety of Turbo homebrews now.
Awesome.
So I have them all because we all do our research and our.
We all have our niches and our projects that we work on. It, dude. I mean, like it's so exciting to me, and I know that you get the same excitement. Like finding stuff that hasn't been written about that's so badass that like. People need to know about. Like people don't know about this stuff, and books need to exist so that people can learn. Like it's just so obscure.
Also like just simply categorizing things and preserving things in a specific way, because there's stuff that like I assumed would be out forever online and it's gone and it's now categorized. But like even something as simple as the Genesis stuff, and it's like there's books out there but not in the capacity that I'm doing it, and there's stuff out there for consoles but not in the capacity that Tristan did it. You know what I mean? Like it's the way that we shape it. And my final item actually goes into the good segue. I will say I can't even talk right now. I got this book in the mail.
Oh, why do I know that?
2020X Video Game Reflections. This is by Hand Drawn Game Guides, Phil Summers.
Why. Okay.
And so what's cool, and nobody can touch Phil because he'll write about a game like Resident Evil Village, but he does his little drawings with it, which adds it.
Dude, artist. That guy is ridiculous. I wonder how long it takes him to do each of those drawings because they're so intricate. But
they're just little
turns
sketches.
Them out. It's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched my daughter, who is very basically trained, working on digital stuff like that, and she can get the actual line art done relatively quickly, under an hour.
See, me with like no artistic talent, like I can't put together stick figures. Like my brain just can't comprehend that. I don't know.
No cards in here with it.
I
had my thing disconnect for a second.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, you're back.
Yeah. It gives me a pop-up, but I can confirm that there are no cards in this little Kickstarter backer pack. There are stickers, there's a bookmark, there is a coaster, and there is this little poster-looking thing. I don't know what it is. There's like a little input thing, but no cards. So I don't know if I'm alluding to something, but there are no cards in there with that thing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's the craziness. I think we should talk latest book statuses now, though, because somebody has been busy shipping.
Yes, somebody has been busy shipping, and I think I've sent out about 20 packages so far. Well, okay, since I should back up. I'm getting ahead of myself because we haven't recorded in a while. I got my book shipment in of the Video Game Collector's Field Guide. So half of the shipment went to me, half of the shipment went to Ship Bob in Chicago, right? Chicago warehouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have half of the inventory now sitting in my garage, minus what I've already shipped, and then I'm waiting on the slipcases still. So that's the other half of the Kickstarter fulfillment that I have to do. Good problem to have, but it's been a lot of work.
I would show them off, but it's like 30 pounds, and I don't want to strain a muscle.
I don't have any like near
right
me,
here.
so I know
they're like right here off camera, but I can't lift them.
We showed them off whenever we got the advanced copies. So.
Yeah, but yeah, so now you're seeing why when I went with my NES book, cool, but when I went with my Super Nintendo book, my wife's like, no more. You filled up our garage.
Yeah,
it's why I have a warehouse, man. My wife said you are not storing our house full of books.
I'll be okay on the next one because this is by far the biggest scale thing I'll ever do. I'm never doing something on that scale again. So my next book is going to be a lot smaller and paperback. So no, it's going to be smaller. It's smaller form factor.
I tried to convince you to go slow with this one and do them one at a time, and you're like, "Nah, I'm gonna go crazy."
Nah, let's just do it.
I'm like, oh my god. The logistical nightmare.
Hey, I mean, like, I can't argue with your logic, and again, like, either way, I think it would have been crazy. I just wanted to like rip off the Band-Aid. It was going to be costly. Why not just do it all?
I like the slow roll, but yeah, no, dude, it has been a beast getting these out there and fielded. The cases should be well en route. Like we wait on customs essentially. Customs
and so
processes.
I'm taking orders on my website, and then we'll have them up on Hagens Alley soon.
No slipcases on Hagens Alley.
Yeah, no slipcases on. Yeah, that's right. That's exclusive to VGCollectorGuide.com.
Yep, exactly.
And I won't be shipping any to anyone else until all of the backers get them, obviously. I need my backers to get them first. That would just be bad form on my part if I were to ship.
And we've been testing logistics with it too, because I ship like one book to you and you're like, okay, this shows up okay. I was like, well, let me ship two because I bet I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I bet they're going to take it, not put it in a book full, toss the books into an oversized box with some paper because they're not smart enough to realize, they're going to get damaged.
There was no padding. There was no padding at all.
Yeah.
And the box showed up with a huge tear in the box, and like the packing tape was ripped. And yeah, exactly. I mean, it's to be expected. It's jostling around.
It shifts around, of course. So I mean, so the thing is that there's some decisions, and it's the same shit I need to do for some of mine, because if somebody orders two of my books, they do the same shit. They've been doing it for a while, and most of the time I will, when I reship the replacements, I'll ship them individually, and then I just eat the extra costs because it's only a couple people that really get it damaged. But doing a request where we have them all pre-packaged into book mailers, so that way if they're all in a book fold already sitting on the pallets, which the weight does cost more for like monthly storage fees, but when they toss the two books in there, they're tossing two books that are already in a book fold in a box. And then there's an extra layer of protection, which I think fixes all issues. We don't have to like buy anything fancy or anything crazy. I think we just put them in book folds with their minimum amount of effort that their employees use. We can kind of mitigate, because it's not like the ones that come from us, like they're fine.
dude. You should
Well, 'cause,
see
like,
how I'm packing these things. There's
before
no
the
way they're
last-
getting damaged.
Well, when we recorded the last time, I had shipped out all the Metroidvania Volume 1s, and all the collector editions came from me. I had zero. No damages. Zero.
Yeah.
So it's like, and all I did was I just put them in a bubble mailer and put them in a fitted box, like a Indestructo box.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I
it.
mean, like, because we care about
Yeah.
our product, and you know, the
Exactly.
people in the warehouse, they're whatever.
Well, and if I could fill my house with books, I would do my own fulfillment. But
Yeah,
I move too much right now. It might be a future Jeff thing where I actually have like a she shed that my wife has or whatever, and I just fill it up with books and because she wants her she shed. But yeah, so we got that going out, the Video Game Collector's Field Guides, volume 1 through 4. I had went on the website, by the way, on Hagens Alley, and I did something called Shop integration. Shop is an app that people use, which includes, it gets integrated with this app from Shopify, which is the main store, as well as across Etsy and other things. So the imagery that I had been using was inconsistent, and sometimes it would not show the full cover in those type of apps. They use square imagery. So I went over the weekend and resized and fixed every single book, which includes creating 3D mock-ups of the Video Game Collector Field Guides. So there are now 3D mock-ups up on my website that look great. I do still need some spreads from you. Some like
I do. I owe you
spreads.
that, and I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, but outside of, but we're not going live yet until all your backers get their books anyways. So, and we're gonna do some marketing so that way everybody can see them, see us, all the stuff we got going on. But just getting all the ducks in a row, try to make sure your books are good. In that same process, I now have the Metroidvania Volume 2. I submitted that stuff like a month ago, so I'm waiting on the advanced copy still. I don't have it yet. So it should be the same deal as your slip cases because it was around the same time that I should have all of those here. But I haven't even gotten the advanced copy yet, which is interesting. So I asked them, hey, is there a status update? So I'm always asking for status updates.
Maybe they'll put your books in my slip cases.
Yeah. Because during that time, we got that book done. All the slip cases are coming to me, just like all slip cases are going to you. That way, all of the limited items I'm handling, which it doesn't take up my whole garage, just a part of my garage.
Yeah.
And then all the rest will go to the warehouse, which is fine. And then, of course, during this time frame too, the complete Genesis on Backer Kit was funded. So I am working on all of the editing. I think I am in the Japanese section, and I'm also working on the contributor reviews. So basically, when a backer sends me the contributor review, I will reword it, edit it, send them back to the reviewer to make sure I didn't change anything. I'm just making sure because everybody writes a little different. I want to make sure there's a good standard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then because it was on Backer Kit, I think because I've had some requests. I think I'm going to do a Kickstarter for the complete Genesis, including the availability of a pocket version, because people have been asking me for a pocket version. So I'm going to do the pocket version. The pocket version will probably only have the licensed US releases in there, and now all the extra stuff just to keep the size down so it actually fits in a pocket, because it would be weird. But like, I think I'm going to do it with that, and if possible, maybe we'll have licensing from Sega on there if all goes well.
That would be nice.
Knock on wood. I'm working on it, but like Sega is notorious, so we will see. But yeah, I'm going to take that to Kickstarter, likely. But I would like to get the Metroidvania Volume 2 out. Like, I'm sitting on my thumbs. Like, that shit was ordered months ago.
So I guess I've never really run into that situation, like with Kickstarter. Will Kickstarter approve a new Kickstarter if you haven't fulfilled your old Kickstarter yet?
It will. You just got to tell them what the status is. And
okay.
If you're
because I mean, I'm basically almost done with mine, and I mean that's a good segue into. I'm close enough. Yes. My next book that I plan on kickstarting, and I think I may even kickstart it next month or early December.
Ooh.
Exactly. Is and this will be the first time I'm announcing it officially. Video game dictionary. So any lexicon that gamers use, be it speed running, fighting game, whatever. Down to like specific games like WoW or Dota or whatever. I'm going to have, if someone's a non-gamer and they need to translate, like speak your language, then it's going to be in there. You'll be able to look up gaming terminology and get some pretty cool definitions.
That's fun.
And then I'll have some fun stuff in the back as well. Like, oh gosh, let me cheat. Hold on. So not only that, so I'll have a bonus section in the back that has, sorry, my computer's being a little slow. We've got, come on. Doing this live is always dangerous.
Always.
So not only am I going, and that's my next book, video game trading cards. I'm working on that as well. Obviously, I just showed you those. So I'm doing a book on video game trading cards throughout the ages. I'm going to list all the video game board games that have ever been made. I'm going to be listing, video game internet shows, TV shows, anime, manga, movies, serial, magazines, on and on. It just, fun stuff in the bonus section on top of all of those glossary terms that you would find in gaming lexicon. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, and you're going to keep it super simple.
Takes a lot of time, but I've been doing some research, and I didn't want to say anything until I was deep into it because it's never been done before, surprisingly. No.
That's wild. Yeah, that's a fun one, man. And
it's super fun. Be cool. And I get to make up my own definitions too. So I'm just having fun with it.
Exactly. Yeah, the books that I have on the horizon, I mean, we talked about it before, but after the complete Genesis is the complete TurboGrafx 16.
I'm excited for that one. Super excited for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so the TurboGrafx 16, but I want to finish submitting the Genesis book first. So once the Genesis book is done, then I move to Turbo. But the other book that I'm working on, which is after I did the Metroidvania, because I'm going to take a pause on doing Volume 3 to give people a chance to, get Volume 2 in and everybody to get excited. I'm doing Indie Gaming Gems, which is the follow-up to Hidden Gaming Gems. So I had started a giant idea that spitballed scope creep out of control. And so I have Indie Gaming Gems, the book that I'm working on, which was based off of me finding shit tons of indie games that I would have liked to have signed as premium. And then it came up to, I had 800 to 1,000 games. And I'm like, well, that does us no good. So I'm going to highlight them. And I started doing the YouTube channel Indie Gaming Gems, which we're in a few episodes in now, and I do it once a week. I record them,
holy crap, dude. You're churning out so much content right now. Like, how do you have the time? I always ask you that. I think I ask you that every week. How do you have the time?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm recording the audio for it when my daughter's at an appointment. So I'm sitting there in the car recording the audio, and then I'll come back and I'll do the normalization. And then one day on the weekend while I'm having my coffee, I just do the audio editing, and then I toss it into. I taught myself video editing over the last few months, so now I can edit videos professionally. And I added VGBS 145. There's a video version, which this will be video as well. Spotify, if you use the app, you can watch this in video.
Excellent.
And then, but it still shoots the audio to everywhere else, and then we'll put it up on YouTube as well. But I literally did a bunch of them at a time though, and I have a backlog. So I think I already have, like, if this week I'm going to record another episode, but it's like episode 11. I think I have 3 out.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. You're already up to 10. What the heck? Like crazy.
Yeah. Now it's 11 that I'm working on for recording, but I think I have editing done up through 8. Okay. So like 8 is edited, it's up on the YouTube channel. I have them all scheduled and everything, and it's all that thing. But then all those episodes lead into book spreads, and I know I sent you a couple of templates of some ideas. I think the one I'm using is tight, but also I decided to change the scope of the book because it was going to be a shit ton of games. I think it's going to be like 100 indie games you need to play. And then I decided to do, instead of like having the game information at the very top, like I've done for years, The first 2 pages is a giant full-page spread, has the game title and then that info. Then it goes into the review on the next 2 pages, and it flows real well.
Very cool.
Real well. Yeah, and then I'm creating my own imagery, which I'm using, my own like editing skills in order to have transparent images for certain games that don't have transparent images. So I was sitting there breaking stuff out, and then I mold the text around it and make it look cool as hell, and doing long form reviews. And so the Indie Gaming Gems is like 10 to 15 minutes for 10 games. I'm doing then long form reviews, like longer reviews. It's not the same review that's in Indie Gaming Gems for those games. And it's not every game that's in the Indie Gaming Gems, because Indie Gaming Gems is going to be like pretty much anything indie that I find, including fan games, including all the stuff. This one will be scoped in towards indie developers, and the book will be more obscure stuff too, just to keep it scoped in. So I'm not going to cover like Balatro in Indie Gaming Gems, the book, but it might make an episode. Like, because Balatro's huge. So I want to focus on games that, we would sign as premium as a physical publisher, but there's just not enough time in the day. And it's the ongoing joke of how many games are released a year. Do you know? That is your question.
I wouldn't even guess, because I would be so far off.
Because I had done the research. There are 40 games a day released of all types, of all qualities. So that's about 14,000 releases a year. Do you think we could publish that many? Like, it's just, so I'm going through with my reviewer lens, my creator lens, and picking out the stuff that really moves me. That's the stuff I'm highlighting for the channel. That's the stuff I'm highlighting for the book. And then Xander asked me, he's like, hey, you want to do an Indie Games podcast? I can find out about more games. I'm like, cool. So that's then we record every once in a while, and it's up on his channel. So it won't be up on this channel, but it'll be up on his channel. And then I'm doing the YouTube thing. Now, I don't think you've noticed this, Tristan, but if you listen to our podcast on Apple, there is a channel for Video Game Bullshit that is for Hagens Alley now. And so because I have a Phobos Militia that I split off and I deleted them from the main thing, you got Video Game Bullshit, Phobos Militia, the Switch Mania / Premium Playcast, and the Indie Credible podcast. That's all part of the channel. So now when somebody on Apple watches VGBS or say they find out about the Indie Credible, there's VGBS.
They'll see everything, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Did you know that this is an epic recording, Tristan?
No.
This is episode 146. This is the 200th episode. Believe it or not.
Wow.
This is the 200th recording with all lives, panels, interviews,
that's
quests.
crazy.
This is 200. 146.
I'm so underdressed. I should be wearing a tuxedo right now.
I'm wearing Bullet Club for life, like in the Friday the 13th hat. No, but
hat.
I was, because I only knew that because once I got rid of the Phobos ones that weren't Video Game Bullshit, it actually showed up on Spotify, and it's like 199 episodes,
cool.
And I'm like, that's cool as hell. So, it's not the numbered ones.
But I mean, it's content. It's the number of content that you put up. That's a crazy milestone.
That's crazy. And that's why I was like, dude, we got to go back to basics starting next episode. That's why we're going to talk about what we've been playing, and then we're going to go retro, and we're going to start focusing on a retro game again, Video Game Bullshit stuff. That's what we always did. We always tend to get motivated about new stuff because we like to play new shit too. But I think the focus of Video Game Bullshit is the bullshit about a retro game, a classic, and that'll be fun. It'll keep us focused. Like it.
Yeah, and that I'm kind of smirking right now because I'm going to throw a curveball at you later in this. And it ties into the game that I chose, and I've got a segment. Talk me into it, Jeff.
Oh, awesome!
So we'll have Talk Me Into It, Jeff, this episode.
I think that we have covered all of our projects that we have going on. So let's talk me into it.
Well, I mean, I don't want to because it'll give away the retro game that I chose for next week. So we'll save it for then.
Okay, so let's talk about what we've been playing.
Okay.
Now, because it's so long, luckily I have running notes because I wrote a couple notes like a month ago. That I played, that would be a cool story. And this happened after our last recording. I ended up having London wanted to play Undertale with me.
Cool.
Now, I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called Undertale Together.
No.
And so, Undertale Together is a fan-made version of Undertale that's two-player cooperatively.
I don't even know how that would work. Is it just the combat's two-player, or
all of it? You two characters running around.
Interesting.
They changed the text to reference that there's two running around. Like,
wow.
And London and I were playing it. We were initially going to do genocide, which means kill everything, because we did. We already did in
Pacifist.
The individual. Yeah, we already did true pacifist.
Oh.
So we did pacifist, and then I realized that because I was so regimented, I actually had done all the requirements for true pacifist. So then we got to fight the final true boss, which was awesome. It was fun, and we did that together. She just wanted to play it, and then so we had played Undertale together. Now we haven't played it for months. Like, we played it a while. It was fun. We got through a couple bosses, I want to say, probably through the papyrus and everything. It was really cool. Then nothing else changes in the game. It's just you just play through two.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was going to ask you if there was any like additional content that like they threw.
There's like 2 hearts in there when you're playing versus.
Yeah.
And
that'd be tough.
And it's
It's not that big a playing field.
It's a shared health bar too. The hearts can go through each other, so I mean,
okay,
there's that. And then I think you may have put me onto this game, but Super Mario and the Rainbow Stars.
Yeah,
I had played it, and
you did play it. Yeah, since I mentioned it, I totally forgot about it. But I watched some YouTubers play it, and it looks great. I mean, it's all like new sprite work and stuff. It's
so good. It's like Super Mario Brothers 5. Like, it's so good. So those were 2 of the games I had been playing, but there was one I wanted to make it our bullshit homework, and then it, obviously we're going to move toward retro anyways. I had played and beaten and mastered The Messenger.
The Messenger, yeah.
The Messenger. So that's, Metroidvania. Ninja starts off as Ninja Gaiden and it turns into a Metroidvania. I ended up playing it, beating the game, played the DLC, beat the DLC, and then realized that you need to start a new game plus and then beat the DLC in order to get the unlockable from the DLC, which is ridiculous. So then I had paused at that point and hadn't went back and moved on to other stuff. But yeah, those were the 3 games like over the last 2 months that I had played. What have you played outside of, the game of the episode that's on the little screen?
So outside of the game of the episode that we're going to be talking about, like I have been on like such a Binding of Isaac kick again. Like I go in these like waves where like I won't play it for like months. And then once I pick it up, it's one of those games that it's so addictive to me because there's so much content, so many unlockables. I haven't 100%ed the latest version of it, so I'm working on that right now. And it just takes so many playthroughs, but it's so much fun, and that's all I've been playing other than the other game. Well,
and that's why I can't bring myself to start it, because I know once I start it, I won't stop it.
Oh, dude, it's an investment of like 1,000 hours at least.
If you say, hey, we're gonna play that for video game bullshit in the future, like to go long form on it, because like, that's the thing is like when we do our next game, we're gonna do deep dive into everything, history, everything. That's old school VGBS style. Like Kyle used to do a freaking history on the shit. It was insane. So it's gonna require a little research on our part.
That's actually perfect. I didn't even know that, and this works out pretty well.
And we don't have to play to master or beat, you know what I mean? But we have to do our due diligence playing it and then master and go through the wickets to get a little research on the game, maybe the history, any fun factoids. That was always the cool thing. Besides for the the game that we're talking about, the other thing that I've been playing, which I'm freaking obsessed with, and I'm absolutely going to continue to play, Astro Bot on the PS5.
Oh yeah, Astro Bot. I still need to pick that up. I hear from everybody that it's like a Mario adventure, but on Sony, and it's like a love letter to Sony PlayStation fans.
So I haven't bought myself a PlayStation 5 game since the Final Fantasy VII remake. That's still sealed, by the way. We never played.
I played a lot of that, but it's
dude.
It's a mountain. It's a mountain to climb.
In Hawaii, I bought that sucker and I still haven't opened it. But Astro Bot, I played it immediately that weekend. It is and feels like Mario 64 when you had first played it on the N64. It has that feeling to it.
That is such a high compliment too. So now that everyone's like saying that, I have it hyped up so much in my head that like I hope it actually like reaches that expectation when I play it. I mean, it performs.
And it feels a lot like Sunshine, not from a mechanics perspective, because it's Mario 64 from a mechanics perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little Galaxy. But because there's a lot of island theme to the first world is why it feels like this. Because there's a lot of water and stuff in the first biome, the first world. What I like about it, too, is you get all these robots. So you're Astro Bot, you go collect robots. Well, the robots have little cute costumes that are based off of franchises from Sony's past.
Yeah.
So there'll be a Solid Snake. There'll be a Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, hell yeah.
There'll be Symphony of Night.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Like you literally
you had me at Parappa.
Oh yeah, Parappa's in there. They even have one based off the Onion. Like it's
Master Onion. Oh my gosh.
You got Dante in there from Devil May Cry. Like it's, and then not only that, but there's a gachapon system when you go, because there's like a little hub world, and the gachapon system will unlock little like whatever they are, dioramas for the characters. So you'll randomly get it, and all of a sudden you got the throne for Richter or for Alucard to sit on.
That's
like shit
sick.
like that. It's cool as hell. And so the thing is, I had played through the first world. It shows you on each level if you've gotten all the things, and it gives you like a little crown. So I made sure I got all crowns in the first world. And then I'm in the second world and just going through and enjoying it. And I went to this one spot and I was circling around it, and it created this PlayStation symbol. And then it put me into these challenge levels, which reminded me of Mario Sunshine again, the challenge levels, which piss off a lot of people.
Yeah, we talked about that briefly, like offline. The freaking doo-wop music like still haunts me in my you know what I'm talking about, right? Those challenge levels in Mario Sunshine haunt me in my sleep, in my dreams. Like they're so challenging, some of those. I don't think I ever beat like one of them. There was like some level with like a 2D Luigi platform or something like that, and you had to like flip over panels or whatever. Oh gosh.
Yeah, so there's stuff like that. They're very short form in the game, so they're pretty easy to beat. Some of them will be enemy based, some of them are platformer based. I died a bunch of times in some of the platformer ones, like just going through it, but there's really no penalty. There's no life system, so it's fun. And I mean, I've just had a blast with the game so far, and I'm going to continue to play it. But
I
that's
think I
just
already asked you this, but I don't remember. Is it a full like $70 title, or is it a budget title?
It's a $60 game, yeah.
Okay, 60. Gotcha.
Yeah, I paid 60 at GameStop for it. But I can't bring myself to buy a lot of modern games anymore, except for Transition, the game of the episode.
Yeah, which is worth it. I mean, like,
because Legend of Zelda got the Triforce tattoo, got Ganon up here. Like every time there's a new Zelda, I am buying it. I actually weirdly got the game early from online because there was a leak and I found it and I was able to play it.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I played it like a day early. I played it like a day early, which led me to buy it quicker because I enjoyed it. So Nintendo listened, like some people will buy the game. Not everybody though, which is why they can absolutely protect their intellectual property. But yeah, I went there and bought it. And so when I initially, this is how my playthroughs happened. So when I initially played the early one, I went through the intro, and then when the world opens, it sends you in two different split paths to do some stuff. I went to the desert to do the path, and I was just going through it. And anytime with the emulator one, anytime you go to the like Shadow Realm, whatever they call it, there was like from like sound perspective, so it sounded like shit. So I had to like turn on the sound, do all the shit. So but then when I actually got the game, obviously it doesn't do that on the Switch version. No. But when I got the game, I got to that same point where it branches off. I decided I'm not doing the story, and I'm just going to non-linearly wander and find stuff. And so I had found and defeated enemies and gotten the different pieces much earlier. So that was kind of how I did it before I started the story. But I feel like, Tristan, we need to lay the wallpaper, I think we could let you do a little bit of the specifics of what makes Echoes of Wisdom, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom a game, and then you can dive into how you played.
Well, I'll start first by saying that like it's novel. It's a novel Zelda title because this is, if you don't count the CDI game, the first time you play as Zelda, basically rescuing Link, right?
Yeah.
So this is the first Zelda game where you play as Zelda, which is a novel thing. If you don't count the CDI game. Now, whenever I heard about
the CDI game and Hyrule Warriors, where you could play as Zelda.
Oh yeah, okay.
Beat 'em up.
Mm-hmm. What about Cadence of Hyrule? Could you play as Zelda?
Cadence and Cadence of Hyrule. Good call. But this is the first one where it's a full game developed around Princess Zelda as the main protagonist,
like an actual Zelda like mainline title.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Correct.
Now, when someone told me, because I didn't play this until last weekend before last, someone told me that, like, you know, as Zelda, it wasn't like a traditional game in that, like, she wasn't swinging a sword around all the time. You could in certain circumstances, which is kind of cool, but the way it was described to me, I didn't think it was going to work. And, you know, like I kind of thought about Eagle Island, how like your character is like sending out another character to attack, which is basically what Zelda's doing. She's like summoning, I don't know, what do they call it in the game? Like she's using her magic to like summon creatures that you've defeated already.
Yeah.
To attack for you.
So basically all you do is you make copies of items within the world, and those items that you're copying. Yeah, you make the echoes. So whether it's a table, a bed, which the bed is OP, by the way.
Yeah, I know. What? Okay, we'll talk about that later. But that's
and every single enemy you come across in the game.
Yeah,
and those enemies can be used as multiple things. But the thing is where I see a lot of these similarities is with Tears of the Kingdom and the abilities. So essentially, Zelda has this, copy ability to make the echoes, but also there is a second ability you unlock, which you can interact and grab and hold using like the Master Hand, which is very similar to what Link has in in Tears of the Kingdom. So Echoes of Wisdom has that parallel. And so what you can do though is you combine those two mechanics to do a bunch of weird stuff that was unintended to break the game.
Oh, really? Okay. I haven't seen this part of it.
I mean, and so like even on the trailer when they showed like the different forms, because what you were talking about where you swing the sword is called spirit form, and you just press up button and you turn into spirit, and Link's spirit, you actually have the sword you can use. You actually eventually get
it like drains
arrows,
a bar and
you eventually get arrows, and you eventually get bombs too. And you can use bombs. But it drains a bar, but you can unlock and increase the bar multiple times over to make sure like at the end of the game, there's really no bar. Like you just play for however long you want.
Gotcha.
But what you do is you take this Master Hand that I call it, and you can like grab onto stuff. So what it shows, and like even in the trailers, you got like one of the Spinies, like from Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, the Spinies on the beach. Well, those are in the game. You can actually grab with the Master Hand and just like walk around with it in front of you and kill everything. But the stuff that makes it OP is like the different motioning and moving enemies. So, for example, there is a spider, and a spider just crawls, and it crawls up stuff and crawls around. We use the Master Hand, have Zelda on it, and it'll crawl up the mountain, and Zelda literally can just climb up the mountain without even having to do a platform.
Oh my gosh.
There's also the little fire guys that are like from Mario 2, basically, the little fire guys that follow around that were also from Link's Awakening. Those things go fast. Well, you go into the side-scrolling ones, and if I don't want to do any platforming, you literally just grab onto them and just zip around. You can like zip through stuff. Like there are ways to manipulate this game that make it really fun, but you got to tinker. You got to tinker around.
Well, and that's kind of, I mean, with any game that is so complicated and gives you so many tools to work with, like, obviously, like there's going to be some unintended unintended consequences whenever you have like synergies, right? The same thing happened with Tears of the Kingdom, and you see like all these contraptions that people do, and they break the game in all these like unintended ways. But exactly. I remember actually saying this to my friend whenever I was playing this game, like, and he was showing me all the abilities. I'm like, how, as a developer, do you sit down and like balance a game like that and with intention when you have so many ways of like traversing a world?
And so think about it. The way that you played it was unintentional from the developers, because what you missed is every single puzzle that your friend did to get to that point that subtly show you that you can do all these things. So so when you jumped in and you played on his save, because that's basically what you did, right? You jumped in and played at a certain point in the game. You didn't get to do any of the tutorials. You didn't get to go through some of the subtle caves where it's like, hey, I got to get to this chest. How do I get there? And you're like, oh, there's an enemy there's a platform that's moving back and forth. I can grab onto it and the platform will just move me over and I drop down. There's tons of puzzles like that. And so the game developers, classic Nintendo style, like handhold you through all of that without telling you, hey, this is how you do it. They show you little hints and then let you go, oh, well, if I attach to this damn the spider, I can go up the mountain. Like, that is an unintentional one that they don't show you, but once you figure out, you're like, oh shit, it's a game changer now.
But that's
literally do that.
At the same time, that's a testament to like how well done the game is too, because like you put that game in the hands of a veteran gamer and that hasn't gone through those tutorials and hasn't had their handheld, and you know, like you give them the tools to do that and they can figure that stuff out like right away.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. I played the game within like 30 minutes. I was comfortable with it. So
yeah. Well, and
really well
this
done.
game does show me that the weapon breakage in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild does keep things varied, because as soon as I got the super overpowered echoes, I use those. Like there's actually spoilerific. There's a Lionel that you can make an echo out of, but it requires 6 of the things, which requires you to level up like 9 times or something. But as soon as you use him, there's no reason to use any other enemy because he just crushes everyone.
Yeah.
When you go underwater, there's a shark you get, and the shark just like immediately attacks and kills stuff. Like there's certain echoes that are overpowered, except for the damn bed. You just use the bed because
let's talk about the bed now. Now you can just like summon a bed, sit in the bed, and refill your health. And like there's certain like levels of beds so that you refill your health faster. But I mean, the fact that you even have a bed that you can just sit in anywhere you want, anytime with no penalty, that's stupid. Like,
well,
it's broken.
Well, I didn't even know that you could refill hearts until about halfway through the game with the bed.
Yeah.
They don't really show that. But I use it as traversal because it's lengthy, so you can literally stack them. And once you get like 4, you can,
I didn't know this part.
I'm doing bridge building with the beds. That's why the bed's OP. Had nothing to do with health refilling. Because the game isn't hard. It isn't even worth.
No, exactly. I don't think it's intended to be like that. It's just intended to be an adventure, a fun adventure.
So it's like the health thing didn't even affect my enjoyment because I barely used it, except for when I got in the bind and I'm like, okay, cool. I got the Zelda bed, which you get about halfway through and it does 2 hearts at a time. And then I would use it before I go into a boss because I got 0 freaking drops out of the stuff randomly. And I'm like, well, I got no health. Let me just refill. That's extra.
Yeah. As a quick aside, like, I guess, okay, you're resting in a bed, you get hearts back. But as a quick aside, I just wanted to point out, and I pointed this out at the time, Super Mario 64, I always thought it was silly that you could like refill your health by just being in water. Like, what? What's that all about? Yeah. What?
It's a weird one. That's a weird one. So the thing is that didn't, hurt me at all. So I did end up going through the game. I ended up beating the game. I didn't go through and do all of the things though. There's no like tracker for it all either, like a completionist tracker.
Oh, there isn't. Okay.
Not really.
That's too bad.
Cause like I know that there's some stuff that I didn't unlock. There's amiibos that you use. You can unlock a couple extra outfits eventually. I got one of them, but I don't have the I think I left the Zelda and the Ganon ones from Tears of the Kingdom still sealed. So I think one of those does unlock something. But I didn't unlock all that. But I did do almost all the stuff because there are so many Link's Awakening style side quests. They're all fun as shit to do. And they all give you accessories. So the accessories add an extra level. So you have, all the different echoes and the abilities. You got a couple of the Link abilities that you get to do, the spirit form.
Yeah.
And then you have these accessories. And the accessories can remove damage, have heart drops happen more, prevent knockback. There's increased climbing speed. Well, you go to the ferry, the classic ferry fountain inside. The one in Link to the Past where you would go and you would increase your bombs.
Yeah, you throw whatever in the pond and
It's essentially that same location. You just go in there and the fairy's in there and she's like, if you give me money, I'll make you more fashionable. And essentially there's 4 or 5 slots she'll open. So you can have 4 or 5 of the accessories on at the same time. Okay. And so it's pretty awesome to rack and stack those. Again, same deals with the echoes. There's certain ones that are more beneficial to your playstyle. So I just use the same ones. And I found that I had about the best ones. So all the ones I had unlocked either were a downgrade from what I already had, or it was something that I wouldn't use. So I had no reason to go do these fetch quests or these different things around the map to do them.
So that's the perfect segue into a question I was going to ask you then, and something that I'm a little frustrated with Nintendo with, because they're such a long holdout, and I don't know if they'll ever do it. Do you think Nintendo will ever do achievements, and should they?
Honestly, I don't think that they will. Maybe with the Switch 2 we'll get it, but I don't think so. Especially
so popular.
We need it. They should. I mean, hell, they have them on every console but Nintendo. Even Steam has Steam achievements. Everything has achievements. There's even a website for retro achievements that you can do. Retro achievements. Yeah. I use them. It's awesome. So really, it's just up to Premium Edition to do the patch challenges, that's about it.
That's right.
It is what it is. But no, I mean, the thing is that if the Switch 2 is backward compatible, we would want then all the Switch games to get achievements, which would create a logistical nightmare for Nintendo.
Well, PlayStation 3 did it. I remember whenever it came out, and then my friend had a reason to replay Metal Gear Solid 4. He's just a sucker for punishment. But,
and if they put it in the developer's shoes and said, hey, now you can integrate achievements into your game if you want to, and it gives more replayability to their Switch games, I think that would be a smart move by Nintendo.
Man. What a boost.
That'd be a smart move by Nintendo. So, I mean, I want them to do it. I don't think they will.
No, I don't think so either. They're so march to the beat of their own drum. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they do, they'll do it in their own Nintendo way, and it'll be weird and different, and we'll all complain about it, and then we'll do it, and
this is awesome.
It was a fun idea, Nintendo. Good job. You did something we didn't even anticipate or think about.
I know. And it's so consistently what they do. Yeah, they make stuff that I don't even know that I want.
Yeah. So my question to you, Tristan, is since you've only played it at a friend's house, are you actually going to jump into this game, or are you going to just throw it into the backlog?
I do want to jump into this game because I do like especially the handheld Zelda adventures. I've enjoyed and played just about every single one. I didn't play the Link's Awakening remake, but I played the original Link's Awakening a ton. I don't know that I will ever play the Link's Awakening remake just because I have such fond memories of it. I don't need to play that again.
I played it when it first came out. It's fun as shit. I enjoyed it. Because my thing was that I would replay Link to the Past, Link's Awakening once a year at certain points before all of the games came up. I used to make it a thing, and then they released the remake. I'm like, cool, I want to play it, and I have. But
if I don't play this one, this will be the first mainline handheld Zelda I haven't played. So
okay.
I will.
Is it handheld or is it like?
I consider this to be a handheld. I mean, it's not like a Tears of the Kingdom-esque, grandeur Zelda. It's a smaller scale handheld Zelda to me.
See,
know what I
I
mean?
don't. Yeah, I mean, there's a way to categorize it, I guess, because it's released on the Switch. Switch is the console.
Although, you could argue because like Link to the Past and then like Link Between
Correct.
Worlds.
Well, and Link Between Worlds was only on a handheld, but
I know,
since Nintendo has created this hybrid, which now Steam Deck and PCs have, like My Legion Go, have mimicked and mirrored.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a handheld market anymore because the handhelds are so
I know.
overpowered. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what is that?
I guess that's just how it categorizes in my head.
So micro Zelda, mini Zelda,
micro
adventure.
Zelda.
So would you consider this then a side adventure?
I would, yes, absolutely.
Okay, I consider it its own main thing. Just because the graphical style is a little more minimalist, I enjoyed it. I feel like it has as much content as a normal Zelda. It's not open world craziness like Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I mean,
Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my gosh. I mean,
I
would replay that game right now if I had the time.
Really?
If I had the time.
Because
I love it so much. I love it so much.
The only thing that's on the scale of that is like Elden Ring and stuff like that, like those giant open world games. But that's that's not even really. Is that really Zelda? And
I mean, like, part of the charm of Zelda is that universe, right? Like, there's a reason I don't get into Elden Rings and like Elder Scrolls or whatever. Like, I'm not into that stuff. Like, but Zelda, yes.
And from a lore perspective, this does do some stuff that shows all the way to the beginnings of the story. Like it actually does some lore drops for being, a side quest game. Essentially, it does some mainline ramifications. Like even the boss at the end of the game is like at the level of the 3 goddesses.
Oh wow!
So it is an interesting perspective. I mean, manipulating Ganon essentially. It's hilarious.
That's cool.
Like, yeah, it's wild. So, I mean, to me, this game is awesome. Is amazing. I could see where you could say it's like a side quest because I mean, you don't play as Link. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Because you're not going to call Luigi's Mansion a mainline Mario game.
There we go. Now we're dialing her in. Now that's where I'm like, I've kind of changed my vernacular with the Switch since, it's been a long time since Switch came out, that it kind of bridged that gap. There's no longer handhelds. So it's more like,
I got to get that into my head. And like, I don't even play it in handheld mode. I like, whenever I was like traveling with the Air Force all the time, but now that I'm home and I get to enjoy my house, or whatever, I always play it docked. I can't remember the last time I didn't have it docked.
I'm the weirdo that plays everything. Like I don't. I mean, I have a dock to play Steam Deck and Legion Go on the TV that's literally in front of me, and I still will lay on the couch and play some handheld stuff.
Like what the hell was the reason for me to upgrade to an OLED Switch in the first place? It I don't even see the screen. Stupid.
I mean, they released a Zelda one. That's why I bought.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I thought it was pretty.
I mean, hell, I bought Zelda. I bought this Zelda freaking this guy, the light. I'm not even gonna open it because like I'm not gonna play the light. But I collect Zelda stuff and I have a sickness. And dude. More Zelda.
Seeing that gold just reminded me. Did you know that Analog just came out with more pocket colors?
No.
Yes, they came out with. I've got this tabbed. Analog Pocket gets gorgeous Game Boy Color tributes. It's the exact same Game Boy Color palette. So you've got gold, you've got I know. I know. My original. I'm good. I'm good with orange.
You already bougie upgraded once. I have my original one, and it's great.
But now you actually have the exact colors of the Game Boy Color lineup that they made.
Yeah.
Like how many more colors do we need? Gosh damn.
I've had people, and since we've talked about Zelda now, good segue to the outro. You mentioned Analog. I've had multiple people asking me about this Analog 3D and if I'm going to buy it, the N64 Analog. And I said, right now I am not, but I'm going to wait until they do the actual varied colors because they can't help themselves now. And I'm probably going to get either the Donkey Kong Country Green or do the purple, the Atomic Purple, because they're going to do them. Like, there's no way.
Guaranteed. Hey, Jeff, talk me into it.
Uh-oh.
Talk me into buying one of those.
So I segued without even knowing. I had no clue.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I can talk you into it because I'm pausing on it myself. So I don't have, and you don't realistically have, the nostalgia for the N64 as much as we do some of the more retro titles. I think you have more of a fondness for N64 than I do, actually, when it comes to it. But the reason why you want to go toward the N64 3D, the analog 3D, is just simply for the applicability of being able to play the N64 on modern setups, which includes yours, without having to have any doohickeys, any compromises, any kind of scalers. You literally get something out of the package. You know analog does good quality. You know analog has the feel with the FPGA that is the programmable array that has the feelings of the original consoles. That's why it's worth buying and supporting a company like Analog, because even though they've absolutely released way too many freaking Analog Pocket variations, the tech in that is amazing. And the fact that there is multiple FPGA cores in that little analog item, to where there are literally patrons that I support that do one-for-one arcade FPGA ports because of the Analog Pocket, they're helping preservation. So I'm putting money into those every month because I support that they're helping with preservation. Now the Analog 3D itself, being an N64 with those cartridges out of the box, doesn't do much for me. I don't need a way to play N64 in HD, unless, because I haven't watched the videos, unless you're doing something with scalers that are interesting.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Are they allowing blending options to mimic a CRT? Because that is my major concern.
Analog, it's you would think. I mean,
well, it's like
it is Kevtris, right? That's like the lead developer for this or FPGA cores, right? For Analog.
I am not sure if he's the one doing the 3D, but my thing is that when it comes to a lot of HD porting, HD FPGAs, we're playing everything with pixel perfect graphics on the screen. But there's been within the last few years, there's been this whole switch where we got to play it how the developers intended you to see them with the proper blending on a CRT, which means like a game like Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo kind of looks like crap when you're playing it pixel perfect, but when you have the blending, it looks like 3D. So my thing is PlayStation 1 era and N64 era always look like crap to me on emulators and in pixel perfect mode. But when you add the CRT, it gives me a nostalgia. So if they have that on there, then it is a must buy.
My main problem, I guess, with Nintendo 64 and why I like to bag on it so much, I don't know, I have fun with that, honestly.
Yes.
Is because there are so many games, there are so little games on that system that shine. I mean, like Revolutionaries, Super Smash Brothers, Super Mario 64, GoldenEye, like you've got a couple handfuls of games that you can like hold on to for nostalgia's sake, but not a whole lot of them that haven't been remade in like some form or fashion, right?
Either sequels or remakes.
Yeah, so to buy this Analog 64 console, you really have to be a fan of the 64 and not care to play it on whatever newer system it's been ported to, right? That being said, and the game that I chose for us to play next week is Star Fox 64. I would love to see how this one performs on that. I love Star Fox, and it is criminal how little Nintendo has done with the franchise. Like the last game that we got was the Wii U. What, F-Zero? Star Fox Zero? Yeah, and the controls were terrible.
What happened? They fucked up the controls.
They built it around the Wii U tablet.
Well, here's the thing. That game itself, if you remove the stupid controls, is fucking amazing.
Great. I know.
It's awesome. And then I just couldn't get my head around because it was frustrating because of the controls. I'm like,
Same.
I wanted to love it.
It was a great game. Why don't they? Oh my gosh, it makes me so mad.
Remake it.
The Switch has been out so long, and
remake it on Switch.
How do we not have a Star Fox on the Switch?
No, like just remake Zero on Switch.
Yeah, even that. Just do that.
I want to play it right. No, like, but yeah, like I would love to play some Star Fox 64. I mean, I bought it when
Star Fox.
I bought it when it first came out on N64 back in the day because that was the thing about being a back in the day gamer. And I'm sure we'll talk about it on the episode is that games came out slowly. So I played a fuck ton of this game. I'm only gonna play through it once to have fun.
And folks, this is the first game with Rumble. Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Rumble.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, I don't have an N64. My collection is in storage. So how I will be playing it is with emulation. Fortunately, Tristan created a rabbit hole for me, which is a good rabbit hole, but he created a Scope Creep rabbit hole about a month or two ago and asked if I could stream or share the Game 6 episodes. So I had, since I had moved out here to Texas, hadn't started my Plex server. A Plex server is basically your own personal Netflix. So once I opened that up, it created something I didn't even talk to you about, a Scope Creep. And so I got my whole Plex server ready, but my wife asked me, hey, can we rip all of our DVDs and Blu-rays to the Plex server? My hard drive's full, but I have this 12 terabyte that has games on it that I'm not using because I bought a 12 terabyte offline that had every game ever on it. And so I don't use it. So I created this file imagery backup where I have 2 5 terabyte hard drives and 1 12 terabyte hard drive. I decided to upgrade and back up all my projects, all of the stuff. So the 12 terabyte now has a lot of free space for all my wife's movies. Yeah. She wanted to watch Benny Hill, basically. Like old school Benny Hill. I mean,
just you hear yakety sax over and over.
but like she wanted to do that, but plus watch some of the classic movies that we have, like some of the giallo horrors and things for Halloween coming up and all that. So I got all that working and ready. And then I'm like, what do I want to do with all my games? And so it's every game ever released for every system. And I put it all, I got rid of a lot of the duplicative games though. So anything I felt like on modern that I'm not going to play, I deleted. So like there was a lot of stuff like disc-based items. So I went from like 12 terabytes down to 5. All the retro stuff I'm keeping though. N64 is in there. So I'm going to play it on my Lenovo Legion Go with Retro Arch. That's how I'm going to play it because I don't have an ability to play the cartridge. I'm gonna play with Retro Arch.
Got Retro Arch right on this screen over here.
Yeah. And I decided, because the thing is, when you buy that stuff off Amazon, which they definitely don't have the license to put every game ever on a fucking disc. No. But I decided just to throw it on Retro Arch, let Retro Arch do the core thing. I'll double click and play. I don't need the graphical end or anything. I literally have it on the Legion Go, but it's on the dock, and I'm just going to play it and have fun. Like, it's on the external hard drive, so it's not on my Legion Go. It's on the external hard drive, plugged into the dock, and I'm going to play – I'll play Star Fox 64. That's awesome. That's going to be cool. I've recovered that on Video Game Bullshit. That'll be perfect for the 201st recording.
Hell yeah. Hey, and so going back to the cards, I've got these cards sitting in front of me, but like I actually have to like open some of these. I'm trying to get like a pack or 2 packs of each, one sealed, and then I've obviously got to like scan some and like put them in the book too. So I've got like, I don't know, this is like Final Fantasy Art Museum Coca-Cola edition from like 2000. Like, who knows what's in there? I don't know. I'm gonna record it, I think, and like upload it somewhere. But anyway,
you should do YouTube Shorts.
Yes,
Facebook Shorts.
And, I mean, where should I like put these scans? Like on my website, like Triple Triad cards. Like, I bought a scanner, which is so freaking awesome. Being able to like feed cards in there. Yeah, that's awesome.
Amiibo cards that are custom made by people, but they're
amazing. I used to have a set.
Well, and that's a rabbit hole to go down is like high quality fan items.
Yeah.
Like that goes forever because it's cards. Like that's the thing though is I think having an archive up on your website is important. Definitely some kind of unique categorization. It's easy to look at. So that way there's at least a digital representation, but the real preservation comes in the book.
Yeah. And dude, I'm so excited for this book. And gosh, I've run into this problem, and I know you do too, with scope creep. Like you get excited about one thing. I'm trying to finish up this dictionary. That's my next book that I'm coming out with, but I'm so excited about the cards that it's like taking away from that time. It sucks. Not enough time.
Fortunately, nobody's forcing you to move forward with either until you actually do the Kickstarter. There's no requirements. So if anything, just wait to do the Kickstarter, because my recommendation is you don't do a holiday Kickstarter ever.
Yeah,
it's a bad idea.
Yeah, you're right about that. I didn't think
so. So spend the holidays enjoying time with family and video game cards.
Not stressing about looking at Kickstarter numbers every 2 seconds.
Exactly. And then after the holidays, I'll do the complete Genesis with the paperback, and we'll do the video game card, and we'll do a cross synergy of 2 different campaigns at the same time and take over the internet with video game books.
Yeah, I think in the meantime, like, I want to like record opening these weird packs, because I don't think anywhere on the internet like it has people opening freaking Coca-Cola Final Fantasy cards.
And every time you do them, link that you're doing the book and start showing off spreads and start because I mean, literally, I'm doing with Indie Gaming Gems. Like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not doing that book or that Kickstarter till like next year. I might be leaving Texas before I do that campaign, but I am doing content now. It's building, inherently a fun thing to do that's just letting it slow roll as I'm working on stuff. I'm in no hurry to work on stuff because there's no, nobody's invested.
No deadline right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Once people invest their hard kit, that's why like the Genesis went to backer kit. I'm getting that done because that's before I start working on Turbo, which I really want to work on. I'm literally collecting games for it and stuff. I gotta get the Genesis book done and submitted before that. And the thing is that as long as it takes for production of books, I am okay to wait on the pocket edition, because there'll still be people who haven't heard of it, because no matter how much we do out here, we're still the underground of the underground, the cool kids club.
Oh my gosh, that's an understatement.
Like, I literally came across the guy within like 2 weeks ago that knew about my old stuff and hadn't known that I did any books since the Super Nintendo book. And I'm like, how? Wow. How did you not know that I've done like 25 books or some shit? I'm like, wow, dude. Like didn't follow premium, nothing.
Oh, hey. So that reminds me. I'm sorry.
Squirrel.
Shoot down. Yeah, squirrels. All these squirrels in my brain.
This is how we do the outro, people. This is great.
So I was going to run this by you offline anyway. I might as well do it now. Ooh. But so since I'm doing this video game card book, I want to make some video game cards of Hagens Alley books.
Ooh.
So we'll have our own set of cards to put in the book.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
So meta.
Yeah, give me some ideas for layouts, and we'll dial that shit in and make sure they look cool as hell. That would be fun to do. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Down the clown. And that's the thing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So I was going to say, with this new format of video game bullshit, we're keeping her under a couple hours, which is perfect.
Yeah. All right, the rest of the squirrels will just keep inside now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the other thing is we had requests from listeners to talk about, because I had mentioned JP Switch Mania. We have a premium playcast, a whole other thing. So Tristan and I will probably do a separate recording sometime when we get some time, and we will put that up on the premium playcast. So if you're hearing this and you're, where the hell is that? Number one, Apple. We have the channels. So once you actually follow Video Game Bullshit on Apple, there's channels. You can see all 4 of the podcasts that I've done over the last freaking 10 years, which is crazy, by the way. So make sure, you leave comments, you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you share it with people, because as we said, we're the freaking underground here, man. So no matter what you do, we're not going to meet the algorithm. Tristan and Jeff don't do the algorithm. We make cool shit. And if you don't feel the passion, you'll see it in person when you see us at conventions and stuff.
Absolutely.
As soon as I can go again. The other thing is that we don't really talk about it, but Hagens, Alley, and Tristan and Jeff are part of Malice Media, which is also Premium's part of that, Old School Gamers part of that. We're also part of that. And I actually, chat with Gerald Malice all the time, which, he does get people to go to conventions all the time. I'm in training. Tristan has been busy as shit working on so many freaking projects, but we will be out at conventions. So just be aware that we will be around. And if you want to see more of us, comment. Let us know. You want us to cover a retro game? Let us know, because we're going back retro.
If you have any requests on what you want to see us play, or if you have any, you want to see our thoughts on games, let us know.
Star Fox 64, man. Prepare yourselves. Play the game with us. We want to see
a barrel roll.
Post it in Discord. Do a barrel roll. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to us, and we will see you next time.
Later, guys.
VGBS Podcast time. Get ready for the ride. Tristan and Jeff in the zone. Video games they own. VGBS, it's a blast. Video games from present to past. Join the fun.